Welcome back to CLE Weekend. So tomorrow it is National Battery Day. And listen, this is something that we use every day, and they are so helpful in really almost all devices in so many parts of our life. But a lot of people don't know how to get rid of them, and you have to do it a certain way. So here to help us from the City of Cleveland Department of Public Works is Ren Brumfield. So thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, batteries are great. No one can deny that. We all use them. But I want to talk about some signs, maybe when it's time to get rid of them.
All right. So pretty obvious signs. So when your rechargeable batteries won't charge anymore, then they're no good.
Yeah.
When your single-use alkaline batteries won't run your devices anymore, then it's probably time to get rid of those. Or when your batteries show corrosion, when there's like the green, the white stuff coming out the top or the bottom.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, it's so frustrating. I'll be sitting at home. It's of course late at night. I want to watch TV, and I'm like, shoot, the batteries, they're not working. It's the time that you want them to work. Let's talk about that white crusty stuff, because is that something that we should be worried about if we're seeing that? Or that's just for you, you're saying that's a sign that we're done?
I would say not necessarily worried. It's not necessarily going to hurt you, right? So the battery, it's like a chemical reaction inside a little tin box, right? A little can. So as that ages, the stuff starts, it's always pushing out. It's pushing on there, and sometimes it'll leak out. That's what that is, right? So it's the stuff that makes a reaction, that makes the energy leaking out, so it's losing some of its power. Right?
Okay.
Is it dangerous? Not necessarily. Wash your hands well if you do have to handle it. It's the same kind of thing that happens like on your car battery, but that's different, right? Car batteries are like a liquid cell battery with acid and lead and all that good stuff going on. So that stuff that's on the top is going to have some of that in it. So people need to protect their skin, their eyes and such if they clean those.
Yeah, and I think that's just a good reminder, right? Good rule of thumb. If you touch it, it's not something that you're like, I need to freak out, but it is good to just wash your hands. All right, let's talk about getting rid of the batteries, because there is a specific way to get rid of them.
Yes, there is. So two different ways, two different things you have to know. So with your single-use alkaline batteries, the thing about those is that people think they have lead and they have all this bad stuff in it. They really don't anymore. So they used to have lead, mercury, all that. Now it's mainly steel, graphite, chemicals that aren't considered to be hazardous. So they can be thrown in the regular trash when they're spent. Alkaline batteries. Now, one thing I do is that, like for your fire alarm, you switch your batteries in your fire alarm when you change your clocks, right? So what we do at my house is we hang on to those batteries because they're usually not completely spent, and we'll use them to power clocks because they don't need much power.
Oh,
right?
That's a good idea.
So that's one thing. So when the alkaline batteries, when you get rid of them, when they're completely spent, they go in the trash.
Yeah.
With your rechargeable batteries.
Yeah.
Now they'll have things inside them. They'll have chemicals inside that are a little more difficult to get rid of, right? They'll have your mercury, your lead. They'll have the chemicals in that you don't want to put in the ground.
Yeah.
Right? And the reason you don't want to put those chemicals in the ground is because they can leach out and they'll pollute the soils. But they'll also have things in them like nickel, like cobalt, and lithium. These are important things for rechargeable batteries, like for EVs, for electric vehicles and all that stuff. And these are chemicals or elements that we don't really mine here in the U.S. We get them from other places. So recycling those kinds of batteries, which is what you do with them, you recycle them, keeps that in circulation, keeps that to where we can actually produce our own batteries here in the country.
And I think that's really good, because there is not just one answer anymore for the batteries, which is nice. So hang on to some of those ones that you think may have a little bit of juice still left in them.
Use them where you can.
Yeah, I think that's really smart. For any more information on batteries or what we can do, what is the best place to go for that?
I always tell people, the first place I send people usually when they look for advice on what to do with recycling, throwing away things, is I ask them to look at the Cuyahoga County Solid Waste District's website.
Okay.
It's called CuyahogaRecycles.org. So on there, there's on that first page when you get to it, there's a thing that says, what do I do with? And you can plug in whatever it is you're looking to dispose of.
Okay.
It'll tell you within your community, what are the resources.
Oh.
There's a national kind of company that's around called Call to Recycle. And call the number 2 recycle.com is their website. They have a thing where you can mail batteries in, but if you go to the county's website, they'll give you local resources first.
Which I think is really nice because, like you said, even with the batteries and depending on where you live, nothing is going to be just one answer.
Exactly.
And there's good resources
Exactly.
to go and look and see. Well, thank you so much. I feel like I learned a couple things today. I hope you learned some stuff today from Ren. Again, about disposing your batteries and then also how to kind of get a little more juice out of them and use them in different places. And I didn't realize the clocks, I guess, don't use that much.
They really don't use a
Yeah,
whole lot.
again, learn something new. Ren, thanks so much for coming on today. We'll be right back on CLE Weekend.